These folks are actually swimming in money, and even back then, they used to make good money. Not a surprise to me because honestly, just thinking about it, that job sounds really hard. It's RSN. Welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time here, thanks for clicking this video. My name is Nicole Nyasha. I'm a certified professional recruiter based in Canada, and I share career-related content. One of the things I've constantly mentioned about this year is that this should be the year we should all make it. And to help you out, in this video, I'm sharing top paying jobs in Canada for 2023. The list I'm going to be sharing is based on research by Randstad Canada, which is amongst one of the largest HR service providers in the world. Personally, I know that there are higher paying jobs that are listed on this list based on my experience in recruitment and HR. So I don't know if I should call this the top paying jobs or just call it high paying jobs in Canada, because the minimum wage in Ontario is $15.50 and all the jobs I'm going to be talking about are significantly above that. With all these jobs, any job for that matter, there's always a scale when it comes to the salary. It's not like a one size fits all. So the scale could be 1 to 10, for example, and where you end up fitting in, whether you get a 3, 7, 10, or 1, will ultimately be dependent on your location. So, what province are you in, the industry or the sector, and your experience, as well as your negotiation skills as well. So I always say, if you're going for a job interview, when it comes to the salary talk, make sure you negotiate. Don't settle for the first offer that you get. The first one is developers, particularly full stack developers. When it comes to developers, you can be front end, you can also be back end, and you can be all round, then become a full stack developer. Once you are experienced, you can make upwards of $130,000 a year. I remember during the peak of the Great Resignation when things were really tight, I know 1 or 2 people who are developers were able to negotiate their offers close to $200,000 in tech companies. And so this is obviously a skill that will always be in demand as we progress to an even more technology advanced society. Financial analysts also get paid really well, between $80,000 to $120,000 ballpark. And financial analysts are responsible for spotting patterns in financial data and assisting businesses with decision making. And so I can see why it's predicted for them to make more this year, because given the way the Canadian economy is going, there's a lot of instability right now. They will definitely play a critical or key role in helping out companies in their strategies and whatever policies they're making. Let's talk about HR managers. I think this is pretty self-explanatory. They're managers in human resources. With all the issues happening economically, socially, politically even, there is some uncertainty within the workspaces, and HR managers will play a significant role in dealing with employee-related issues that might arise, and they can make between $83,000 to $110,000 or even more annually. The fourth one, I had to read up on a little. I had no idea what that was, and that's a millwright. A millwright, according to Google, is a high-precision craftsman or tradesman who installs, dismantles, repairs, reassembles, and moves machinery in factories, power plants, and construction sites. They can make close to the 90,000 mark, and as we progress in terms of automation and just becoming more advanced, there will certainly be a greater demand for this role, and as a result, their salaries would also go up. Closely linked to this is a production supervisor, making between $65,000 to $100,000 a year. I'll say this is for the same reasons I mentioned for the millwrights. There is an increasing demand in the manufacturing sector across the board. I know even like when we order certain things now, there's just like a backlog. The sixth high-paying job is executive assistants. Now, I used to recruit for executive assistants a few years ago when I was on the agency side, and even back then, they used to make good money. The easiest way I can explain what an executive assistant does is they help manage the executive or executives in plural lives. Every CEO or person in an executive position will have an assistant, and they can manage anything from work related to even their personal lives. For example, scheduling their kids' doctor appointment, ordering flowers for their lives, etc. Because of the nature of how much sensitive information they have access to, and it's also a stressful job, they have to be paid well. And so they can make anywhere from 60 into the 60,000 mark depending on the organization, the industry, and their experience. Next up, we have solution architects. These folks are actually swimming in money, making around the $100,000 mark for those who have experience. In short, they are problem solvers, I would say. These are the people who provide recommendations, roadmaps, or share best practices for proposed solutions to issues. A big part of their role is actually communicating new features, new benefits to stakeholders, and just basically saying, do this, do that, this is how we should do this. Electrical engineers also make good money. Not a surprise to me because honestly, just thinking about it, that job sounds really hard. So these are the people that design, develop new equipment and systems. So you can imagine how technical that is. And they make anywhere between $80,000 to $115,000 a year. Personally, I believe they make even more than that. And this is dependent on, again, industry, location. Some locations have more popping sectors or industry than others. And in general, I'll say STEM skills are in demand in Canada. And so if you have that kind of knowledge, you can really make money. Lastly, construction managers. They can make anywhere between like the $100,000 mark a year, again, depending on the location. I think that the pandemic really created a shift in the needs of both commercial and residential spaces, with people spending more time at home versus in the office. So I definitely see why the need for construction managers would go up. Companies are also looking to redesign their spaces. So those are some of the top paying jobs in Canada in 2023. Again, this is from a list released by Randstad Canada. Let me know if you have any comments or any thoughts. I hope you found this video helpful. If you haven't already, download your interview cheat sheet guide linked in the description box, and check out this video on how you can update your resume to the Canadian style. God bless you, and I will see you in the next video.